The greatest threat of Islam was not its force, was not the sword, was not the weapon. The greatest threat of Islam was the power of its ideas and how it challenged injustice head on and how it questioned the integrity of other philosophies, other ideas. How can you think like that? How can you act like that? How can you judge like that? أَمْ لَكُمْ كِتَابٌ فِيهِ تَدْرُسُونَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Why don't you think? How do you make your decisions? This was the reason. This is a religion of أَدْعُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرًا. I call to Allah with eyes open, a religion of thought. We are no longer a thoughtful people, so Islam is no longer what we think is the threat of Islam in the West. The threat of Islam is its militancy. The militancy is nothing. This is nothing. The real threat to the Quraysh were rattled, not at Badr, but back in Makkah. They were shaken up just by the ayat. The word of Allah was enough. It was enough to take a tradition that was there for thousands of years and it was rattled just by a few words of Allah. Just by a few words. Something's happened. We're not connected with that word anymore. You know, when somebody wants to win an argument, when two people have an argument, and you don't have a response, then you get angry. And you start yelling. And when you start yelling, it is proof that you lost. When you in an argument start yelling, it is proof that you lost because you don't have a reasonable answer left. And it frustrated you, so you got angry. And when two people have an argument and you lost and you hit the other, that is also proof that you lost. Because you could not defeat him with words, so you figured you could try to defeat him with your hand. This is actually indication that you're not strong enough in what you have to say. My argument to you is, our deen, Allah has given us words, there are no stronger words. There is no stronger message. We don't have to resort to anything else. And when we do, it is as though we are admitting that this isn't strong enough. But it is. We're not strong enough because we're not connected to this word enough. And we have to be the people that produce the most intellectual responses, the most reasonable responses, the ones that challenge the immorality of the world in the most profound and thought-provoking way. We're the ones that are supposed to engage in the most deep conversation with the agnostic, with the atheist, with the Christian, with all of them. With all of them. Their accusation against religion, you know what it is? It's been there for centuries in Europe now and now all over the world. Religious people are closed-minded. Religious people are fanatical. Religious people are intolerant. Religious people cannot take criticism. Religious people are not open to conversation. So if you get rid of religion, you'll have an open-minded society where people can think for themselves. This is their accusation. And you know what? It holds true for the Christendom that had invaded Europe for centuries. It was true. But the Islam that Allah gave His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the exact opposite of that. It is the religion that encourages dialogue. Hatu burhanakum in kuntum sadiqeen. Bring your evidences. Why don't you give me all of your criticisms against the Quran? I would invite you to bring all of your criticisms. How is a book asking people not just to have faith, but to please collect all of your criticisms and bring them? This is what you call open-mindedness. The book is calling to open-mindedness. We're the ones that are closed-minded. We're the ones. And we have to empower this ummah again by opening up our minds, by opening up this book and thinking the way it wants us to think. To show that religion is not a way to close the mind and close the eyes and close the hearts. It is the way to open the mind and to engage in dialogue and to bring civilization to humanity. They think the solution is when you get rid of religion. And we're saying the solution is when you bring the true religion. Yes, false religion will bring oppression. False religion will bring oppression. But when you bring the deen of Allah, it's a thing of beauty. If we don't show them that, who will? That's why Allah put you and me on this earth. To be members of this ummah is an honor. It's not a small thing. We are carrying collectively 1/5 of the ummah's population on our shoulders. The burden that was placed on the shoulders of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is what you and I carry every single day, whether we admit it or not. And when we don't do something about that burden, and we don't show humanity what it is, we're in trouble. Not just with the authorities or with the media, we're in trouble with Allah. I pray that Allah Azza wa Jal makes us a people of Quran once again. That teaches us not just, that we learn to think the way Allah wants us to think. And that we are able to represent in our character, in our communities, in our business dealings, in our personal lives, in our speech, in our demeanor, we're able to depict what makes this deen so perfect, what makes it so beautiful. May Allah Azza wa Jal shine the light of this guidance into all of our hearts and keep it strong and make it stronger and stronger. And may Allah make the generation of young people real leaders for this community that are going to bring an age of light out of this age of darkness. Barakallahu li wa lakum fil Qur'an al-Hakim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati wa dhikr al-Hakim.